What's up, guys? Today I'm on a Pivot Mach 6 aluminum version. This is the 2019 Pivot Mach 6. I'm riding a medium, even though I should probably be on a large. Oh well, it'll be all right. And today I'm gonna review this bike for you guys. I'm at Irwin, probably not the best place to do a bike review for a bike this large, but it'll be enough. So the bike feels pretty stable so far. Feels pretty dang stable. On that little rough section back there, it felt good. Felt really good, actually. I had to set the suspension a little bit this morning, but since I did that, it's feeling really good up front. The fork was a little stiffer than what I'd like earlier, but today it's running really well. So this is the base model, Pivot Mach 6. It comes with 160 millimeters of travel in the front and 155 in the rear. And it's a very plush travel when set up to be so. Feels almost bottomless, which is super nice. The bars are 800 millimeters, which is a little bit of a pain in this tight of an area. But on longer, faster descents, they're fantastic. I rode a little bit on this bike yesterday at another trail. That's a little bit faster than this one. Unfortunately, the GoPro footage was lost. So I had to go over the specs a little bit more before I go into like my thoughts on it too much. This bike has Maxxis Minions front and rear, a DHF in front, and a DHR in the rear. Common stuff for most enduro / downhill bikes that you see. This bike pedals pretty well. It's a little small for me, but it pedals well. Feels a little muted in the back over the stuff, but it doesn't lose grip or anything. I don't know if that's due to the suspension layout or due to the tires or shock, but it grips really well. Has nice soft landing. Rips these corners really well. Got a nice little pedal up. There's a little rocky section up here. That'd be good to test it on. Oh yeah, just soaks it up. Just soaks it up. Fantastic. All right. I gotta say about the tires really, I got a little distracted. It has Maxxis Minions DHF and DHR, a 2.5 up front and a 2.4 in the rear. And they're the 3C compounds tires, so they're really sticky, especially on stuff like this. Very sticky tire. All right. Now a little bit more about the specs while I'm just cruising on a climb here. It has SLX brakes, front and rear. It has dual calipers, not quad calipers. Just has one caliper per side. I wish there's a little bit more brake bite there, but for anywhere in Texas, it's more than enough. Just not if you're gonna go downhill too much. Heck, I would say it's good for a couple downhill runs, but over time they're gonna fade a little bit. There's not the same as a a quad caliper. And they're pretty good brakes on, really no complaints. They have great modulation for Shimano. They feel really good. Good initial brake bite, just not very powerful. I haven't had any fade yet, but I've only been riding the bike for a day or two and in Texas. So there's not gonna be too much brake fade, hopefully. Then we had an issue. There's like no hills here and you're having brake fade. Anywho, the this isn't a car. The drivetrain on this bike is a little bit of everything. So the shifter is SLX and the derailleur is XT. Now the shifter makes most of the difference, but it's nice that they have a nice derailleur on there. It's a 1x12 speed, but it's the old 1x12 speed. It's not the brand new one. It still shifts amazing though. Shifts have been nice and tight. I haven't had any slips. It shifts well under power. It's altogether a really good transmission and drivetrain. I've had no issues with that at all. It feels just really nice and tight. It's the best way to explain it. It feels nice and tight. It feels very capable too. Just wish it's bigger size. A little tiny jump coming up here. Oh yeah. That's what I like. Just soft and plush. Nice and soft. Nice and soft stuff right there. Woo! Came into that a little hotter than I thought. A little creek right here. Oh wow, it's muddied. All right, it's a little fun downhill section. A little more fun downhill sections coming up. Little gap, downhill section. Wow, this bike carries a lot of speed. For 27.5, carries a lot of speed. Woo! Did not do the right line on that. Not the right line at all. Whew. Just a little tight with these bars too. If you do normal trails like this, I'd highly recommend cutting them down. After messing with the suspension a little bit, suspension is really soaking everything up. It's keeping me on the ground. Yeah, if there's a one characteristic about this bike, it's that it's planted at speed. I know I'm not hitting anything too fast today, but man, oh man, it feels planted. It is not a very poppy bike, and that's all right, because it's made for enduro. It's made to go really fast downhill. All right, there's a little punchy downhill coming up here. I want to show you guys how composed this bike is at speed, which it is really composed, by the way. Really composed. All right, section feels like you need a brake, but you really don't. Woo! A little loose and rocky on that turn. This bike does it really well though. Let me tell you, does it very well. It's basically a downhill sled in every sense of the word. You just point it and it'll go over it, which is fantastic. But I would only recommend it if you got some fun, gnarly trails to ride it on. If you have anything like this, it's gonna feel a little bit more muted and a lot less lively than it does at higher speeds. Feels like at lower speeds, it just feels sort of bored. Doesn't want to do it. It's not a very snappy bike at lower speeds. At higher speeds, it really comes alive. But at this lower stuff, not really. Not really at all. You have to really be sending it to hit anything with usable travel out here. Like, I still got a good 2 or 3 inches before I bottom out here. And I'm sending it pretty hard. Here's a pretty good downhill right here. I want to show you guys. It's a good berm at the end. There it goes. Oh yeah, that feels nice. It rails that really well. No issues there. Big tires grip it very well. Just does not climb. Little punchy climbs well. It's like my biggest takeaway with it. Does not climb punchy well. Climbs very well, which makes me really out of breath really fast. I typically ride a Santa Cruz Bronson. It's a 2017 carbon build, and I would say that climbs a little bit better than this in its current form, because once again I should probably be on a large and I'm on a medium, which is a concern. So don't take it too much to heart about the climbing. It will climb, it'll get you to the top, but it won't do it with a smile on your face. Sort of like a teenager getting woken up in the morning where they'll do it, but they don't wanna. Yeah, that one's, yeah. The bike spec kit, I would say for this price point, about $3,000 from the website, without tax and everything, is really good with what you're getting here. You're getting fantastic geometry. The second I got on this bike, it felt like I've been on it my whole life. I didn't feel bad at all. Didn't feel insecure or nothing. It just feels natural. But I hate these stuff. The geometry's good. The spec sheet's amazing for what you're getting for the money. $3,000, you're getting a Fox 36 up front. You're getting a Fox float DPS shock in the rear. You're getting a good Shimano drivetrain that's very reliable and will get you through everything you need to. The brakes are a little weak for this bike and its intended purpose, but they're all right. And you can always upgrade that. That's an easy upgrade. And the bike, I'd say, feels like a really good package. It doesn't really feel like a budget bike in a lot of ways. It comes with a Fox transfer dropper post, which is really nice. Hello. There's one more coming. So it comes with a Fox transfer dropper post, which is super nice. In my opinion, that's the best dropper post on the market. Everyone has their own opinion, but I've had a Fox transfer dropper on my Bronson for 3 years now. I've never had to service it once. It has worked flawlessly every single day I use it. I've never had an issue with it. I've never had to adjust anything. Never had a scratch. Never had anything happen to it. And I've put over, I think it's like 1,700 miles on that dropper post. So, yeah, it's doing pretty well. That's my favorite. And it feels really high quality for what you're getting in this bike because of it. I think Pivot did a good job with that. They didn't go for like a hydraulic reverb or anything like that. Everyone I know that has a reverb has issues with it, where they need to bleed it and maintain it constantly because it doesn't have a wire. Not a fan. Fox transfer is amazing. I've had no doubts with it. All right, guys. There's one last downhill right here. And then when I get to the bottom of it, I'll tell you guys my key takeaways and everything that I learned about this bike today, including spec sheet, which I learned in the past. I didn't learn that today. Whew. Alrighty. Just a little smooth descent right there. No touching the brakes at all. Still going. Losing speed because it's uphill a little bit. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alrighty. So I'll go over all the general specs of the bike that you guys are most likely interested in. And I'll go over my review of it. So, like I said at the beginning, it has 160 millimeters of travel. Up front, it's a Fox 36 with grip dampening, not grip 2, just grip. It has a Fox DPS shock in the rear with 155 millimeters of travel. It has a Fox transfer dropper post, has SLX brakes and drivetrain, and it feels pretty dang good of a package. Feels good. I would say the key takeaways of the bike, the way it feels, is that it's a muted race bike in a lot of ways. That it doesn't do anything super well, but it's very stable on descents, and it will basically be a sled for you, where you'll just go over everything. It turns all right. It doesn't turn the best, but it turns pretty good. Not as good as some other bikes I've ridden, but it turns pretty well. I would rate it like an 8 out of 10 in turning, where there's still a couple bikes that turn better, but not as good. The climbing is the main issue with this bike for me. I think it's partially because of me being on a smaller bike than I need to be on, but it does not climb as well as I'd personally like it to climb, which is all right, especially if you're a smaller rider. I'm sure it'll climb fine. It does not bob. It doesn't do anything like that, so I'm guessing it's just me. But the way that the wire was cut for the dropper post, I cannot adjust it. It will not work. I tried, and it will not. Wasn't having it today. So I wrote it how it is. And it feels pretty good. Not much bob or anything. So, takeaway is it's a really good do-it-all kind of bike, but it's not very good at climbing. It'll do it, but it's not great at it.